Nikki Sinclaire MEP for the West Midlands. What is this campaign that yourself and Mike Nattrass have launched here in the European Parliament about chickens?
Well, it's about fairness, isn't it? It's about a level playing field, which the European Union purports to do in their kind of mission goal, but they're actually failing here. What they're actually doing is doing a dislevel playing field. We've got countries such as ourselves, Holland, Germany and Denmark who are complying with these regulations to the cost of millions of pounds to battery egg producers. They've put perches in, they've put nesting areas and so forth. And other countries, such as Poland, France, Spain, have ignored these regulations. Now, my constituent has told me this is going to add an extra £15 to 15 pence rather to a price of a dozen of eggs. Well, you know, in 2012 they're going to be uncompetitive in the market. So that's unfair, and I think that's why I'm standing up here with Mike Nattrass to say this is wrong. And there's a labelling issue as well. I asked a question to the Commission: will there be any labelling issue here, where we've specified that they haven't complied with instructions? And the Commission told me there won't be. With battery eggs, they have to have a 3 on the eggs. So if they're allowed to continue to produce those and put the 3 on the eggs, the consumer won't know. And it should be about empowering the consumer. And we in the UK consumers are very animal welfare friendly. We get loads of letters from our constituents over a wide issue on animal issues. So their representatives aren't bringing that issue here to the Parliament. That's why myself and Mike Nattrass are. We want to push this forward, highlight the issue that, it's a fantastic example of the European Union saying thing and allowing another thing to happen. Okay, while our country and our government, our civil service, gold plate these regulations, make them worse for our businesses and our consumers, and who ends up the worst? We do. We'd be better off out of this mess making our own laws that will fit our business and industry.
And just how worried, the constituent you mentioned that yourself and Mike have obviously been in correspondence with, just how worried is he about the impact this is going to have on his business?
Well, if he spent tens of millions of pounds and it's going to cost him an extra 15 pence per dozen of eggs to produce, it doesn't take an economist to realise he's going to go out of business. And in a rural community in such a recession, I think he employs 146 people. 146 people in a rural community is a hell of a lot of devastation if that business goes under. So we're sticking up for what we were elected to do, to stand up for our constituents and highlight where EU law damages Britain. And obviously there's too many EU laws that damage Britain. We're here all the time trying to highlight this.
And how do you rate your chances of being able to head off this threat, if you like, to make sure that the rules do come in as they were supposed to at the beginning of 2012?
Well, what we're actually doing here is, one of the things that we get criticised for is that we're not engaging here. Here we are engaging, going through the correct procedures, highlighting where something has fallen down with the European Union law. Well, let's see how they play with that one.
And if you can't sort of do anything to head off the threat of this extension of the existing status quo, really, how important is the labelling issue, and is that something you'll then campaign on? Well,
it's very important to label things correctly, but if we were to fail in this initiative, then we could go back to our constituents, go back to the people of the UK and say, look, even when you do engage properly, you just cannot win here. We're better off out of the European Union.
And I mean, what kind of labels would you like to see on the eggs so that consumers could at least make a choice?
Well, we already have our own Lion brand, and their numbers, as I say, for battery eggs, they're labelled with a 3. We need to know that the consumer needs to know that when they buy an egg, if they're willing to buy a battery egg, that is a safe egg, that all the relevant legislation has been adhered to, and it's a safe egg, and to give to their children, for example. And UK eggs are safe. Can't say the same for other producers.